Unpopular opinion, but I moved back home with my parents at the age of 35, and I want to tell you why it was one of the most honest decisions I have ever made. We're creeping up on 2 years since I've been back home in Michigan, and the day that I packed up my car, closed my storage unit, put my puppy in it, we gassed up, and we hit the road for that 12-hour drive, I quite literally had no idea what I was doing. I was emotional. I was tired. I was exhausted. I had felt broken. I felt frustrated. I felt confused. I felt like I had very little clarity. I guess you could say the midlife crisis came early, or was that the midlife crisis? I don't know. But I had so much going on. And at the time, I hope you could feel the deep sigh. I felt defeated. Coming back home at that age, leaving the state that I started establishing myself, I felt like I was behind. And looking back at almost 2 years ago today, it was exactly what I needed to do. And I'm so glad that I did, because who I am today is more vibrant. She's liberated. She's clear. She's aware. She's free. And if I didn't have the time that being back home gave me, the space, the freedom to just be, I would probably even be, I'd probably be more lost than I anticipated or started off with. So moving back home, I have a list of notes for you guys. If you're in that boat, if you are taking that journey, if something has happened in your life that has caused you to just simply go back home, I think we're starting to see more people in their late 30s go back home. It's a blessing to even have a home to come back to. It's a blessing to have someone welcome you with open arms. And when you are carrying something so heavy, when you're tired of being strong for so long, when you have had a down moment that you just need somebody else to pick you up, that's what coming back home did for me. It was a bumpy ride. I cried for months, probably the first couple months on and off, because I felt so frustrated. And I'm still having to show up every single day as myself. I'm still having to show up and put on a front for work. I'm still having to show up and handle adult responsibilities, if you will. But there were many moments where I would just like cry. And coming back to my childhood bedroom, it wasn't the nostalgia that sometimes you get when you move back home. It quite literally had turned into my mom's second bakery storage unit. So I had to do so much cleaning and organizing and changing things around, which was honestly the least of my worries at that point in time. But the power of trying to create and make your space yours when you feel powerless was a little bit of a struggle. We got there, and I'm grateful. But it was a lot of breaking and building back up, breaking and building back up, breaking and building back up. And what I mean by that is when you're restoring yourself after you've gone through something traumatic, when you are trying to restore yourself and refill your cup after survival mode, it's a lot of breaking and rebuilding because you're trying to rebuild from honest truths. You're not trying to rebuild from past stories. You're not trying to rebuild from past hurt, past pain, past actions, past choices. You want to rebuild from the clarified you. You want to rebuild from the stronger version of you. You want to rebuild from the honest version of you, not the you that you pretended to be for such a long time. And when you're giving yourself permission, that also was really such a struggle. Give yourself permission. It's easier said than done, but worth the doing, if that makes sense. So I was going through all of those emotions at one time. And I love my parents, but sometimes I think my mom thinks I'm still 14 or something. I don't know. It's like she hasn't adapted to this 36-year-old voice and opinions that I have. And who knows if she ever will. I don't know. God bless the baby boomer parents that welcome us in with open arms when we're just a hot mess and make dinner for us in between work meetings and walk in to talk to you on the work meeting because they don't understand that you work remotely and they don't really know what that means, but they know you're at home and she needs the trash in the bathroom changed and taken out. Bless the baby boomer parents. And then my dad's yelling across the hall for my name while I'm literally mid-work meeting. And it's just like, and then the dogs start barking because he's yelling. That's been my life for the past 2 years. A small glimpse of it. And that's the piece where I have the immense gratitude because I'm grateful that I actually had something to come back home to. Going through breast cancer was very challenging. I just didn't realize the breaking that would come after the trauma. And the breaking felt like another trauma. But to be honest, I have felt more like a butterfly, a caterpillar turning into a butterfly, like coming out of that shell and cocooning and completely developing into this whole other animal that is just beautiful and vibrant and free and flies off. And that is the stage in this almost 2-year journey that I'm reaching, which is so crazy. I will be 37 in 2 months and coming back home at 35. While society will tell you that you failed, that you're behind, that you should have your own place, you should be doing X, Y, and Z, it should look like this. Society doesn't tell you how to handle life when it slaps you in the face. It doesn't tell you how to handle a diagnosis when it shows up at your doorstep. It doesn't tell you how to handle trying to handle all the things society wants you to handle. And then when you have a moment where you're down and out and you need a little bit of help, it doesn't comfort you on the back. It doesn't pat you on the back and say, oh, yeah, you got this. Or, yeah, go home to your mom's for a minute. You know, we should actually be able to go home. We should actually have somewhere where it's like it's a safe haven for the seasons of our life. People go through serious seasons. It could be divorce. It could be loss. It could be mental health. It could be I am drowning and I need some help here. The seasons vary. They look so different from person to person. But there should be something available in those seasons when it happens. Because guess what? Life is real and life is hard. Life is challenging and it's beautiful and joyful. All of these words can quite literally coexist in the same space. But the thing about life is, depending on the season that you're in, you have to respect and honor that season. You have to give yourself space to feel the feels and kick over the trash can and then pick the trash back up and put it back in the trash can and just wander off and come back, or just literally drive with no music through the country road. Like, you just got to give yourself space to feel, and you got to give your feelings room to process. So that would be my encouragement to you. But separate from my encouragement, I got a list for you. And I hope you find this helpful, because these are the things that I've learned in no particular order. Okay. So if you move back home for any given reason, create a plan. You aren't here for forever, but be intentional about what you are there to do. Figure out who you are while you're there and giving yourself space and time. Give yourself space to dream, to wonder, to think, to visualize. Because when it comes time for you to leave your parents' home, you want to leave it better than you found it. You want to leave off better than you were while you were there. You want to actually leave to go to the real you, go to the real place, go to the next place where you feel the calling, where you feel pulled, not from running away from anything, but because you've stood in the midst and the thick of whatever you had to heal to become the next version of yourself. Save up and max out your emergency fund. They say you need 6 months. Renee says you need more. 6 months is cute, but at this day and age, I don't think that's really security. I had a year's worth of emergency fund saved up. And I'm at the point now where it's like, maybe I may just double that for good measure, because you never know what's going to come up. You never know what's going to happen. And something about being in a position where if you don't have to pay rent, or you're not paying a lot of rent, and you can have that moment of getting ahead financially, even in the midst of healing and processing who you are, connect with making good decisions for the future you. Max out that emergency fund. Triple that emergency fund. No timelines in the beginning. Heal, process, and adjust. Just be. It's not the easiest thing to do, but make easy things common. Make yourself worth just being. Allow yourself to flow freely and see what comes about that. I realize in the moments where I have gotten the most clarity are the hours where I wake up early. I'm not talking to anyone. I turn on my lo-fi music. I open up my journal and I just write. Or I'm outside sitting down, listening to the birds chirping, allowing my thoughts to ruminate. That is the definition of just being. Not on a timeline, not rushing, but just being present. And allow yourself to feel, to explore, to cry, to sulk, to get back up as many times as you have to. But you need that space. Set boundaries, otherwise you'll end up saying and doing things you regret. Boundaries are for everybody's protection, and commonly not the easiest thing for people to do, but a thing worth doing when you learn and flex that muscle. Set boundaries on your days, on your times. Set boundaries to your yes and your no. Set boundaries to your capacity and your availability. Set the boundaries. It teaches people how to treat you, how to respect you, even in the adult form of being your parent's child, okay? All right, get a morning and evening routine. This is for your mental health. It gives you structure and it gives you stability. Something about the structure and stability that is so comforting, especially if things around you feel like they're chaotic and you have like no control. It's comforting controlling what you can control within you and going inward. I do that so often when I'm healing. If something has happened in my life that shook me, I go inward to stabilize and comfort. And when you have a morning routine and an evening routine, it offers some form of predictability, and predictability is grounds for growth in the best way. It can grow your creativity. It can grow your discipline. It can grow your achievements, your desires. So much comes from predictability. It seems and feels boring, but it's worth it. And find an escape zone, like a nature pathway that you can walk on a random Tuesday, your favorite Starbucks parking lot to post up and just talk, the scenic route with the trees and the ponds that you like to drive by so you can mentally brain dump and, for better or worse, just really decompress. Find something that restores you, which typically nature is a restorer, and make it your escape place. If you are feeling the mental overwhelm, the mental clutter, if you're feeling the mental Olympics, I like to call it, get away and go to your escape place, because you can heal there, you can recharge, you can get your footing, you can stabilize. Those tendencies, chef's kiss. So these are some of the things that I have learned since I have made this move back home to my parents. And while I feel the season is coming to an end, it has been a time. The girl that cried driving 12 hours is not the girl you see before you today. And that is so profound, because it's like the yes that I gave myself, the obedience that I submitted to God when He told me to do this. I didn't realize how much I needed it. I didn't realize how much I was disconnected from myself in the past. The girl that dreamed about grad school is now in her second year of grad school. The girl that made a career change at 35 is walking out the career change. What? I would have never thought in a million years I'd be in school in my mid-30s. But girl, you did that, and you're doing it, and you can do it too. So if you're in this space, if this is your path in your current journey, I am rooting for you. Take these lessons and apply them. Let me know if you have done this and if you'd add anything differently. I think the lessons are going to be so good for people that find this video and hear this message, and they are experiencing this journey for their first time. So leave that in the comments. Let's create a little bucket list of lessons we've learned from moving back home. Can you call that a bucket list? Maybe it's something else, but anyways, if you're new here, I am Renee. I create content and conversations that bring you back home to yourself and giving you permission to play, to heal, to evolve, whatever that looks like for you. So like this video, comment, introduce yourself, subscribe, join the family. Welcome. And until next time, I'll talk to you later. I hope this was helpful. All right, peace out.